Hello, my friends. This is Sylvie Curry, Lady of Q, and once again, I am in my kitchen. Today, I'm going to be doing a fish fry for the hubby. One of the components of this fish fry is going to be some hush puppies. I found a no-fuss, very simple hush puppy recipe that I'm going to do, and let's get this going. What I have is a half a cup of flour, all-purpose flour. I have a half a cup of cornmeal. I have a half a teaspoon of salt, a quarter teaspoon of baking soda, a half teaspoon of black pepper, and this is ground white pepper actually. I have 1 egg beaten. I have a quarter cup of onion finely diced, and the recipe called for a half a cup of buttermilk. I didn't have any buttermilk, but I know how to make it. So I took the half a cup of buttermilk, to which I'm going to add about a half a tablespoon of vinegar and let that set for a while, and that'll give me the equivalent or an alternative to buttermilk. Gonna make some hush puppies, and here I've got a half a cup of all-purpose flour, a half a cup of cornmeal, half a teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of ground white pepper, quarter teaspoon of baking soda, quarter cup of diced onion, 1 egg beaten, half a cup of milk, which I'm going to add a half a tablespoon of vinegar to make buttermilk. We'll mix all those ingredients together, get a batter-like consistency, drop them down in the Cool Daddy and fry them up. Fish fry going on in here. I'm going to mix the dry ingredients for the hush puppies. It's cornmeal, the flour, baking soda, salt, ground white pepper, and we'll mix all that together. Get it all incorporated evenly. While we're mixing that, I'm actually going to add my vinegar to my milk, and that'll give me the equivalent of buttermilk. Now I'm going to add the onions. So I'm actually going to add the eggs to the milk, and that milk has been sitting for about 5 minutes so that the vinegar could do its curdling action. And I'll add this to the dry ingredients and mix. Once combined, then it's just a matter of taking little tablespoons and dropping them into the hot liquid. hot cooking oil. What would a fish fry be without some grits? We've got grits, we're going to have the hush puppies, and we're going to have the fried fish. For this grits recipe, I'm going to be making 4 servings using Albert's quick grits. You can use any grits you want. You can use those that take a long time to cook. You can even use polenta. However, today we're going with just plain old quick grits. For 4 servings, I'm boiling 3 cups of water, which has about 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt in it. I'm going to be adding 3/4 of a cup of the quick grits, and we're going to get those nice and creamy and all that. Then I'm going to add to that approximately a cup of cheddar cheese. So we're going to have some cheddar cheese grits with fried fish and some hush puppies. My water has come to a boil, and I'm going to slowly add the grits. Currently my heat is on a medium heat, and I'm going to lower that a little bit. Stirring occasionally until we get these grits to absorb the water. We don't want a hard boil on this. We just want a simmer. Turn that down a little bit more. Grits are a very simple recipe to make. Goes along with almost anything. You have grits for breakfast with bacon and eggs, fish and grits, shrimp and grits. You can have grits with almost any kind of meat. You can cook something fancy like veal shanks and have the shanks put over the grits. Or in some cases they'll call that polenta. That's just a fancy name for grits. Polenta is. Polenta is ordinarily usually a yellow cornmeal. This is a white cornmeal, but all the same thing, same taste, same types of textures. I have a friend who's a bit culinarily challenged, and he won't eat grits. That's just something that he didn't grow up with, and it was just like, ugh, grits. However, if I serve something like braised veal shanks on a bed of polenta, he's all over that. So it's just a matter of, you know, what you're used to and what you grew up with as far as some people liking grits versus just calling it polenta. This is about the consistency I want. It's been cooking 3 or 4 minutes. So first I'm going to actually add in, and I didn't mention this before, this is about a tablespoon of butter. And I'm going to put that in and let it melt around. If at any time when you're cooking grits, if they get a little bit too thick for you, all you need to do is just add a little bit more water. And actually I'm going to go get a little bit more water because I have a feeling these are on that verge. Okay, it looks like my butter's melted. Now I'm not going to add the cheddar cheese till I take it off the heat or turn off the heat, because I don't want the cheddar cheese to become real stringy. I want it to just melt and incorporate in these grits. So So let's cut that off now. You see that texture? That's exactly like I like them. Okay, now I'm going to add my cheddar cheese, and we'll incorporate that into the grit mixture and let it melt. The heat from the grits will melt it. And there we have it, cheddar cheesy grits. I'm going to be frying some Cabrilla, which is a species of grouper, commonly found in the waters off the Baja Peninsula. I also have some halibut, which was caught in Alaska. I'm going to cut those into a little bit smaller pieces. I'll put a little bit of salt and pepper on each piece just for seasoning. Then I'm going to dredge it in some cornmeal flour mixture, which will also have some garlic, salt, pepper, and cayenne pepper in it. And then we're going to deep fry it in some oil in my fryer. I've added salt and pepper to the fish, and I'll let that set a little while. And this is my cornmeal mixture, which I will dredge the fish in. And then they'll go, the hush puppies and the fish will both go into the deep fryer. And I'm going to have it set for a temperature of 375. I may back off a little bit, but 375 for now. And that should give me a good crunchy fish. Crispy. Husband likes a hard fry on the fish. Here we go, frying up some fish. I took the liberty of dredging a lot of the pieces of fish in the cornmeal flour mixture and going in. I'm also going to put some of the hush puppies in. Just drop them in. Add some more of the fish. Trying to make sure you get a good coating and that it sticks. So you want a nice crunchy texture to the outside of this fish. What's happening, you know?